Heya. Welcome back to Stillwater's ASMR. This is actually my second attempt at doing this video because I started it a couple hours ago and somebody phoned me. So, try again. So, today I'm going to be doing another Bible reading from the Bible course. Oh, and we have a dead. Sorry. Ted, they don't want to look at your butt. Lie down. Right. If I can get the cat to lie down. So, if it's not one thing, it's something else. So yes, I'm going to be doing a reading from the Bible course by the Bible Society. So it's a course that goes over several weeks, and it works its way through the Bible. And there's like a DVD with it's really well made actually. A DVD each week, and then between sessions, then there's a daily readings given. So we're currently working our way through week 2. And my last video we looked at day 1, so today it's on to day 2 of week 2. And we are looking at Exodus chapter 2 verses 11 through 25 and Exodus chapter 3 verse 1 to 15. So this is the wilderness, the bush, and the name, the call of Moses. You're being a little snugglebutt. Yes you are. Yes you are. Yes you are. Honestly. He's not making it. He's not helping. I apologise. He's like smacking the microphone with his tail. Are you gonna get comfy? And you'll get there. So I'm gonna start and read from the King James version. I guess I love you too. You're such a turd. Ted, just lie down. Sorry. Anywho, Moses, chapter 2, verse 11. And it came to pass in those days, when Moses was grown, that he went out unto his brethren, and looked on their burdens, and he spied an Egyptian smiting an Hebrew, one of his brethren. And he looked this way and that way, and when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian, and hid him in the sand. And when he went out the second day, behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strove together. And he said to him that did the wrong, Wherefore smitest thou thy fellow? And he said, Who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Intendest thou to kill me as thou killedst the Egyptian? And Moses feared and said, Surely this thing is known. Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses, but Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh, and dwelt in the land of Midian, and he sat down by a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water, and filled the troughs to water their father's flock. And the shepherds came and drove them away, but Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock. And when they came to Reu, their father, he said, What is it that ye are come so soon today? And they said, An Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us, and watered the flock. And he said unto his daughters, And where is he? Why is it that ye have left the man? Call him, that he may eat bread. And Moses was content to dwell with the man, and he gave Moses Zipporah his daughter, and she bare him a son, and he called his name Gershom, for he said, I have been a stranger in a strange land. And it came to pass in process of time, the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel sighed by reason of the bondage, and they cried, and their cry came up unto God by reason of the bondage. And God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. And God looked upon the children of Israel, and God had respect unto them. Now chapter 3, verse 1 to 15. Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro his father-in-law, the priest of Midian. And he led the flock to the backside of the desert, and came to the mountain of God, even to Horeb. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. And Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burnt. And when the Lord saw that he turned aside to see, God called unto him out of the midst of the bush, and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Draw not nigh hither. Put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place whereon thou standest is holy ground. Moreover he said, I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon God. And the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people, which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters. For I know their sorrows, and I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land, unto a good land, and a large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites and the Hittites, and the Amorites and the Perizzites, and the Hivites and the Jebusites. Now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me, and I have also seen the oppression where the Egyptians oppress them. Come now therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people and the children of Israel out of Egypt. And Moses said unto God, Who am I, that I should go unto Pharaoh, and that I should bring forth the children of Israel out of Egypt? And he said, Certainly I will be with thee, and this shall be a token unto thee, that I have sent thee. When thou hast brought forth the people out of Egypt, you will serve God upon this mountain. And Moses said unto God, Behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, and shall say unto them, The God of your fathers has sent me unto you, and they shall say to me, What is his name? What shall I say unto them? And God said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am hath sent me unto you. And God said moreover unto Moses, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, The Lord God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, hath sent me unto you. This is my name for ever, and this is my memorial unto all generations. I now have little Miss Squeaky Pants has joined us. It's like a zoo or a circus in here, honestly. Little lady. She reckons it's bedtime. And bedtime means snuggle time. And she's put out that she's not getting any snuggles. Sorry. This poor microphone keeps getting knocked. So I do apologise if there's been like horrible loud noises throughout all the video. Between me or the cat. Right, next I'm going to read from the NIV. Oops. Now I'm just banging the wall. Which rattles if you hit it because it's really flimsy, so the wall actually flexes. And next door there's a towel rail on the wall in the bathroom. The cat's gone just nuts. So next door there's a towel rail on the wall in the bathroom, and so if you bump this wall, the whole wall shakes, and then the towel rail shakes. So So reading the same passages again from the NIV. Sorry. Oh goodness, she's like tearing around the house like a crazy thing. So Exodus chapter 2 verse 11. One day after Moses had grown up, he went out to where his own people were, and watched them at their hard labour. He saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, one of his own people. Glancing this way and that, and seeing no one, he killed the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. The next day he went out and saw 2 Hebrews fighting. He asked the one in the wrong, "Why are you hitting your fellow Hebrew?" The man said, "Who made you ruler and judge over us? Are you thinking of killing me as you killed the Egyptian?" Then Moses was afraid and thought, "What I did must have become known." When Pharaoh heard of this, he tried to kill Moses, but Moses fled from Pharaoh and went to live in Midian, where he sat down by a well. Now a priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came to draw water and fill the troughs to water their father's flock. Some shepherds came along and drove them away, but Moses got up and came to their rescue and watered their flock. When the girls returned to Reuel, their father, he asked them, "Why have you returned so early today?" They answered, "An Egyptian rescued us from the shepherds. He even drew water for us and watered the flock." "And where is he?" he asked his daughters. "Why did you leave him? Invite him to have something to eat." Moses agreed to stay with the man, who gave his daughter Zipporah to Moses in marriage. Is that so? Goodness. Poor baby. Poor baby. Sorry. Oh, little lady. So Zipporah gave birth to a son, and Moses named him Gershom, saying, "I have become an alien in a foreign land." During that long period, the king of Egypt died. The Israelites groaned in their slavery and cried out, and their cry for help because of their slavery went up to God. God heard their groaning, and he remembered his covenant with Abraham and Isaac and with Jacob. So God looked on the Israelites and was concerned about them. Now it's chapter 3 up to verse 15. Now Moses was tending the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the far side of the desert, and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There the angel of the Lord appeared to him, in flames of fire from within a bush. Moses saw that though the bush was on fire, it did not burn up. So Moses thought, "I will go over and see this strange sight, why the bush does not burn up." When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, "Moses, Moses." And Moses said, "Here I am." "Do not come any closer," God said. "Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground." Then he said, "I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob." At this Moses hid his face, because he was afraid to look at God. The Lord said, "I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I am concerned about their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them from the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey, the home of the Canaanites, the Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. And now the cry of the Israelites has reached me, and I have seen the way the Egyptians are oppressing them. So now go, I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt." But Moses said to God, "Who am I, that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt?" And God said, "I will be with you, and this will be the sign to you, that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, You will worship God on this mountain." Moses said to God, "Suppose I go to the Israelites and say to them, 'The God of your fathers has sent me to you,' and they ask me, 'What is his name?' Then what shall I tell them?" God said to Moses, "I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites: 'I am has sent me to you.'" God also said to Moses, "Say to the Israelites, 'The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, the name by which I am to be remembered from generation to generation." So that is the NIV. And now finally I will read the passage again from the Message version. If I can find it. So Exodus chapter 2 verse 11. Time passed. Moses grew up. One day he went and saw his brothers, saw all the hard labour. When he saw an Egyptian hit a Hebrew, one of his relatives, he looked this way and then that. When he realised there was no one in sight, he killed the Egyptian and buried him in the sand. The next day he went out there again. 2 Hebrew men were fighting. He spoke to the man who started it. "Why are you hitting your neighbour?" The man shot back, "Who do you think you are, telling us what to do? Are you going to kill me the way you killed the Egyptian?" Then Moses panicked. Word's gotten out. People know about this. Pharaoh heard about it and tried to kill Moses, but Moses got away to the land of Midian. He sat down by a well. The priests of Midian had 7 daughters. They came and drew water, filling the troughs and watering their father's sheep. When some shepherds came and chased the girls off, Moses came to their rescue and helped them water their sheep. When they got home to their father, Reuel, he said, "That didn't take long. Why are you back so soon?" "An Egyptian," they said, "rescued us from a bunch of shepherds. Why, he even drew water for us and watered the sheep." He said, "So where is he? Why did you not leave him behind? Invite him so he can have something to eat with us." Moses agreed to settle down there with the man, who then gave his daughter Zipporah, a type of bird apparently, to him for his wife. And she had a son, and Moses named him Gershom, which apparently means sojourner, saying, "I'm a sojourner in a foreign country." I'm probably mispronouncing that word, so if I am, I'd apologise, but I'm not sorry. It's a funny looking word. Many years later, the king of Egypt died. The Israelites groaned under their slavery and cried out. Their cries for relief from their hard labour ascended to God. God listened to their groanings. God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. God saw what was going on with Israel. God understood. Moses was shepherding the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian. He led the flock to the west end of the wilderness and came to the mountain of God, Horeb. The angel of God appeared to him in flames of fire, blazing out of the middle of a bush. He looked. The bush was blazing away, but it didn't burn up. Moses said, "What's going on here? I can't believe this. Amazing. Why doesn't the bush burn up?" God saw that he had stopped to look. God called to him from out of the bush, "Moses, Moses." He said, "Yes, I'm right here." God said, "Don't come any closer. Remove your sandals from your feet. You're standing on holy ground." Then he said, "I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob." Moses hid his face, afraid to look at God. God said, "I've taken a good long look at the affliction of my people in Egypt. I've heard their cries for deliverance from their slave masters. I know all about their pain, and now I've come down to help them, pry them loose from the grip of Egypt, get them out of that country, and bring them into a good land with wide open spaces, a land lush with milk and honey, the land of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, and the Perizzites, the Hivites and the Jebusites. The Israelite cry for help has come to me, and I have seen for myself how cruelly they're being treated by the Egyptians. Sorry. It's a serious subject matter, toots. The Israelite cry for help has come to me, and I've seen for myself how cruelly they're being treated by the Egyptians. It's time for you to go back. I'm sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the people of Israel, out of Egypt. Moses answered God, but why me? What made you think that I could ever go to Pharaoh and lead the children of Israel out of Egypt? I'll be with you, God said, and this will be the proof that I am the one who sent you. When you've brought my people out of Egypt, you will worship God right here at this very mountain. Then Moses said to God, suppose I go to the people of Israel, and I tell them, the God of your fathers sent me to you. And they ask me, what is his name? What do I tell them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. Tell the people of Israel, I am sent me to you. God continued with Moses, this is what you're to say to the Israelites. God, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, sent me to you. This has always been my name, and this is how I always will be known. So so that was the wilderness, the bush, and the name, the call of Moses. So I will continue with the other readings over the next few weeks. Really, to be honest, by the time I've got through the whole course, it'll be months, but I also want to do some sort of themed Bible reading videos where I kind of pick certain different themes, kind of encouraging verses on different topics. Sorry, Ted's poking holes in my shirt. Stop that. No, stop it. So I've got some plans to kind of gather together encouraging verses on different topics, and work through those. But I need to prep for those ones. So I'll do that as and when I get the chance. But thank you for joining me today. And Ted says hi. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He says hi. I'll see you in a video soon. Take care.